All right, let's make sure you guys can hear me. Should be able to hear me. Let's go drop this over here. Linux developer. Hey, how's it going? Yep, we are. Oh, you got ads at the beginning. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. All right, looks like you guys can at least hear me and see me a little bit. What are we working on today? We were working on Prometheus yesterday, but it's kind of like a study bit. And then today, I was thinking at least a few hours before I have to run my college class, I thought I would hop on and do some maybe planning and maybe some building of stuff in the home lab. We've got some decisions to make around this extra hardware that we have down here that we're not really using. Also, I kind of want to save some of this. I don't want to throw all of this out. So what I might do is find, I think one of these nodes has some extra storage capacity. See how much extra storage capacity we have. We got 1.6 terabytes here, so we should be able to at least keep this here. Let's see what kind of storage we had on this guy. We were using 73% of 1.2, so it'll fit on there. It'll fit down there, so it'll be under 1.2 terabytes total, and then we've got that up here. Plus, we could then, if we needed to, we could use any of these again later. So we'll look at storing this data off. Some of it's not going to matter as much, like we're not going to need the InfluxDB server, so we could probably get rid of that, and that'll save us some space. But definitely like the Moodle server I want to keep. And probably, well, we don't care about the original Prometheus either, I don't think. So maybe we can let those ones go. I guess maybe really all of that. So I'll keep Moodle and I'll keep my original Kubernetes cluster because there's some stuff on there that I kind of want to run. How did search go? I haven't taken the cert yet, Linux developer. I was just studying for it last night. I'll plan it sometime, probably February maybe. Of course, I was saying back in July that I was going to take it like in July, and I just never got around to it. So I'll plan to take it in the next month, and then we'll figure it out. No, I don't just turn around and just take certs like that. I always spend a little time with them, and I haven't really reviewed a lot of that stuff from last night for quite a while. So let's do a couple things then with this system. Let's get some stuff going in the background that can happen. So we'll take the servers that I care about, so Moodle, which exists down here. Was there a Vault one too? Oh, Moodle might have been in the Vault server. That's fine. We're going to move the whole VM. And we're going to move it specifically over to this other guy here, who is the XCP NG DMX. So we'll move him to this one here. So we'll move him over there. He'll stay off. That's fine. And we'll move it to this storage here where we got a lot of storage available. And we'll get him moving over there. Network's fine. All that stuff's fine. Okay. So we'll get that moving. And then we'll take all of these if we can and do the same thing to them. So we'll move all these VMs to that same server, which this might take a little time. Got all your Microsoft certs without studying. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I don't do enough Microsoft to do that though. I mostly do the Linux type stuff. And actually, that's a fun behavior. This window just locked incorrectly. So give me a second here. I got to go fix it. All right, there we go. All right. So you guys can see me over there. Let's move all of these over there. Next, we'll move them all to that box. That's fine. Keep all the networks the same. That's fine. And then move them all over too. Okay. Because once that's done, we can re-provision this server any way that we want. We can... Oh, man. I mean, we could do... I have a few thoughts on what we should do with it, but it's basically just a big server that we can do whatever we want with. Hey, how's it going, Chris? We are hanging out and... kind of clean up the home lab a little bit, kind of planning out what we're working on, so we're not working too hard. And then I got a college class to teach in a few hours. I got about 2.5 hours till that, so I can hang out for a little bit with you guys. And then I will have... Oh, what am I teaching in the college class tonight? So we do... It's kind of fun. We do this thing, I've told you guys about it, where we have a whole bunch of students that would normally be in like an online class, but instead of being in an online class, they get to do it with the professors, but all of the professors take different time slots. So we all have different time slots on the actual class. So there's a class tonight. My part of the class is I'm going to be doing 3 different labs with them on generating. There's a couple of tools that are out there to generate keys, generate public and private pairs of keys, which we've done before a bunch on stream. But I'm going to show them a little bit about how to do that. Like my part is really just to do the labs with them, but I'm also going to show them a little bit like why they want the keys and how they do key management and all that kind of stuff. Linux developer, you said, what from Killer Coda can I put on LinkedIn? I mean, I guess here's what I would tell you about putting anything on your resume. You can put whatever you want on your resume. You can put whatever you want on your LinkedIn, as long as you feel comfortable discussing it with somebody in like a interview scenario. That's what I tell people all the time. That's my litmus test for what I'll put on my resume, is whether or not I feel like I could talk to it, talk about what I've done with it, talk about how I've had success, how I've seen it used, that kind of stuff. If I can't do that, then I won't put it on my resume. And I think that's a pretty fair way to do those kind of things. Like, I think that's a good way to do it. Oh, yeah, you can have a config file for sure. This is mostly going to be dealing with keys for them, so the students are going to be learning about creating public and private keys on a Windows box, as it were. But I'm going to show them on a Linux box what's happening with keys and what we're actually doing. No, they're going to be doing it's RSA keys. RSA keys, and we might do a server certificate. I might do one of those too. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think the lab calls for that. And now that I think about it, I think I only have 2 labs tonight, and they're both keys. They're different. They're just tools to generate keys. They're not even tools I use. I use SSH keygen, right, or a RSA key generator. I don't even use whatever these Windows tools are that I'm going to use. I've done them for the lab. I know how to do them. I never go into a lab without having practiced it. In fact, I'll practice it before I get on the call later. So, yeah. So that's a good thing for us. All right. So what are we doing then? We're thinking about what we might want to do to this system once we get it cleaned up a little bit. We might have to, on the storage. There's a thing that happens when you pull these off. You sometimes have to go and reclaim the freed space. So we're going to let them get completely off of there, and then we're going to reclaim that free space so we have it. And then we have like a design decision to think about, right? Like when we look at this stuff, let's look at our Excalidraw. Where's Ranger Cam? I'll move Ranger Cam over here, and I'll go to like Excalidraw. Now we were playing in here the other day, so there's quite a bit of other stuff kind of going on. Whoops. In the home lab here. So let me move this over here. This is my home lab. And what we might be doing, or what we might think to do, is extend out. This is a thing we could do right now, and take this lab network, right, and build another lab. This is actually what I was kind of considering doing, building another lab network over here that is on like the. So I'd pick the 200 network. I might pick like maybe the 220 network. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be off on its own. And then what I would do is I would extend my virtualized hosts like this over here. So I'd have more room for virtualized hosts. And then this server right here, which one is he? Gotta go look at which one he is. I don't know all their I don't know all their names. I didn't pick their names very well. HUGE. So this guy would now come over here. Let's grab him. Grab that. No, we can't grab them both. There we go. Got them both. And we'd move him over here. So now he would sit on all these. And then we'd probably make another C router. I don't know why that capitalized. This should be lowercase c router. Maybe we make like a C router 2. And C router 2 would sit over here. And C router 2. This guy would sit over here, and then we would have now a network over here. That's pretty good. A network of other hosts, and then what we would probably do is just build a new werewolf. We would bring out a new werewolf config over here, and we could do other things with that wearable cluster. And that's kind of my thoughts on what we're doing tonight. That's kind of my thoughts on, well, what I'm working on now for the next little bit while I'm hanging out with you guys. So we do have a Discord. You guys are welcome to hang out down there. I imagine people that are hanging out so far are probably already in the Discord. Let me see here. There's the Discord over there for people on the YouTube side of things. So we really just have to decide what we want to do. Yeah, and then Chris, before RSA, it was all DSA too. So now, yeah, we're going further and further with further and further types of keys that we can use. You know, as other keys go outside of their normal entropy, we don't use them anymore. Also, I'm gonna pull this up because I'm gonna talk about this with my college students in a little bit. So NIST 800-57 is the key management, the recommendations for key management. So if you tell me, hey Scott, you know, we do run keys in our organization and we don't have any policies around our keys. And I say, okay, we know where to go get policies, right? We know where to go find SANS.org and find policies. But if you don't have any idea besides just like a framework of what policies should look like, maybe you got some policies that you've been writing for how users, like the most important one is acceptable use policy, how your users access their systems. Well, maybe another one is key management. What do we do with keys and what kind of keys are acceptable? So this is one that I'm going to show my students. I'm going to link to you guys as well. I always show them this one. And it talks about what you should do. Should you have a root key that has not been rotated in the last 10 years? And I would say probably not. Probably not. And, you change your root password every time somebody leaves. Don't you think you should change the keys too, since somebody could take the keys with them when they leave? So they have a lot of this same information here and what the standards are that you're going to have to deal with if you're in one of these spaces, right? Are they free key managers? No, the key managers, I rotate keys with Ansible. Most of the key management that I've ever seen is not free. Not free at all. And rotating the root password is also not, well, I don't want to say it's not free. It's something you have to write yourself. So yeah. Your root user typically should still have a password so that you can get into a box in the case of emergency. Now, you might say, we don't allow SSH, and I say, I didn't say over SSH. It could be at the console. You may have to go and open up a vault and get a key or get a real password for a root user and then take it into a data center and unlock a box. That is the thing you might have to do. And if any of you guys have ever used the Shamir keys within like Vault, you have to have 3 of the 5 keys to be able to unlock. If you don't have 3 of those 5 keys, you can't unlock and open a vault so that it can be used. So that's like a thing to understand if you're doing that. Yeah, same combination for my luggage. So anyways, this is a thing that I will tell my students to go spend some time with, because again, I'm just showing them the labs and I'm going to say, well, but here's all this other stuff, learn your definitions, I always tell people the way we learn, right? The way that your brain works to learn things. Everybody thinks it's so different, right? Everybody's like, I'm a very visual learner and I'm a very kinetic learner. I have to touch things and I say, yeah, okay, sure, okay, yeah, okay. People have a little bit of difference of learning, but there is still like a hierarchy of how you learn things. That's what's called Bloom's taxonomy, and we go over that. That's like a college type concept or whatever. But you do learn by understanding component pieces before you learn how everything fits together. That's just kind of the thing. And engineers love to talk about things exactly the way, being very pedantic about the wording of things. So if you understand what these things are, that's going to make the rest of this document easier, and it's going to make the rest of your time as an engineer better. So I do tell people, like, I'm not saying to go sit down and just read a dictionary, but understand these component pieces and understand where you can go pick up some information about them if you need them. right? All right. So that's a long glossary. And then they get into what different things are happening down in the system, right? Here's some acronyms that are useful. You need to know what they're talking about. So like POP here is proof of possession, not point of presence. If we were talking networking, POP would be point of presence, right? But here it's proof of possession. So I would have to, in my head, think about that as I was reading this doc. Otherwise, I'd be like, what the hell are they talking about? The point of presence from like, is that like that's where the vendor comes in, you know? And I'm like, I don't get I don't get this context switching they're due. So you might want to spend a little time up here. Oh, this is one for you gamers, RNG. People always complain, oh, the RNG was bad. That is what they mean by it in gaming as well. So that's funny. Anyways, it all comes around. Some of you guys know I actually opened this up for you guys on Saturday, so we had other people drawing their stuff in there, like what they were doing in their labs, right? This was just my quick little drawing of our lab. And then now I've just kind of spackled this on the end and said, well, this is kind of what I'm thinking of doing with the physical hosts. So this would be a big physical host still, and he'd still be doing whatever he's doing, but he's going to have virtualized hosts inside of him. And we could build a new werewolf cluster out there if we want, right? SSH plus Fido. I don't think I've ever played with Fido. But we could put, so what could we put out here? What are we using? So this network here, like what do we use this for? If you guys don't know, this is the ProLUG Linux system admin course lab right now. These are the Linux systems admin course lab right now. That's what's kind of going on right here. Let me pull that back up here. This is what this whole thing has been, and you guys have been able to log in if you were doing the Linux system admin course, and you've been coming through here and you've been able to access the nodes, and then when you're done you can reboot them. I actually want to go check on all those nodes here in a second. But I just don't know what we would do. I mean, we could build a werewolf cluster and we could have it do, I don't know, anything we really want to do with it. I just don't really have a use case. We could use it for expanded capacity of the system. We also have other nodes that we can start to add in here that deal with how you get in from the internet. So there's another system here, right? So some of you guys know that we've got Guacamole right here. I know that's great. But you can go to our Apache Guacamole server, which would be, say right here. Let's say this was your access coming in here, right? We'll do this. This will be more of like a logical connection in. And this connection comes in here. And then in another, it's not quite the DMZ in the same sense that this is a DMZ, but there is another box. Move him up here. And we'll call him Guacamole, which is Apache Guacamole if you don't know. Right? Apache Guacamole. And he is not 245. I think he's 197. But let me go check. I can go check him here real quick. Watch this how we check. What's Guacamole? He is... I actually don't know on his networking where he is. IP-BR ADDR. And it says he's 197. He is 197. Okay. So internal to my home lab, we can say there's an Apache Guacamole. And out in the web here, out in the internet as well, traffic comes in off of this and goes over to Apache Guacamole, and then that gives access to a bunch of our servers as well. And when you come in on port 34001, and then you get access or not to our environment, right? So we have that. Let me go check something real quick too on there, because I haven't checked something. I don't remember if I built something on here or not. Let's clear the screen off. We'll CD to opt. I know that's small. Opt. And then I have set up Promtail. And then more Promtail local config. And all I have in here are all the logs going to my system. So the job here is called guac. So I need to go check. I haven't actually looked at this lately. If I just go over here to nodes logs, right? I haven't really looked lately, but we do have guac. And I don't have to look for failed. I can just look for everything. And I can say, are people trying to get in on the system right now? Are people trying to connect in and getting bad connection attempts, right? And then if they are, where are they coming from? Now, I'm only going to see them coming from the local box. So this box is not great for like auditing. I actually have to go look over on a tool like Zeek or something and get my traffic coming in. So I'm going to have to do that as well. But I can see what's coming in on 3401 from that other system. I probably should get those logs getting sent over. But anyways, the point is, here's what's going on. And here's the attempted connections from different systems, right? Oh, actually, maybe we are seeing people on the outside. Okay. But the point is not to worry so much about that, but just that we can have it. Now, by the way, I can save this. So I'll go ahead and save this to, I have this saved as a file on my system, which was called Home Lab Logic Drawing, I believe, from 125. Yes, this was from the other day. I can go here and just look. Yeah, this was the one from the other day. We'll replace it, right? And then if I wanted to, for some of you guys that don't know this, we can share this out. If you've never collaborated on a system, I can share this out to you guys. Now, the thing about it is on the Twitch side, you'll have to copy that out of your browser. But now I've saved this. So if you guys come in here and mess it up, I don't care. But if you jump in there and you take that and you use that, you can save that yourself. And then you have your saved version or whatever. See, there's somebody's getting to the salad, right? What's a salad, right? You can make that bigger if you want to. We were looking at the wife brought a little place called Salad and Go Home. I didn't have a salad. I had a wrap with a whole bunch of food, so that was pretty good. Well, it looks like the words don't reverse. Rabbit. I had a chicken barbecue chicken thing. So all right. Anyways, we'll get off of that. We'll let people work in there. But the point is, we can share functionality there where now you can work with other team members and all that kind of stuff. How's Ranger doing? Speaking of working with team members, there's Ranger down there. All right, so that thing's sending logs off, so I feel pretty good about that. I can keep an eye on those logs. We haven't really done much. Wraps are just salads to go. Yeah, well, so it was King Buns. It was a wrap, but it had chicken in it. So like it was good, and they put beans in it and stuff. So it's kind of like a little more hearty. But then I like to just put I don't need them to put it in there for me. I put it on like I eat it like a burrito, right? I'd like put the stuff on, I eat it. I put the stuff on, I eat it. Like I do a whole burrito type thing. So, all right. Where were we at? Oh, so that's what we were working on, or that's what I was thinking of working on a little bit, and was getting those systems doing things. What else could we do? We could, let's go check over here. Let's check back on this. All right. Have these all moved off? No, they're still moving. They're moving slow. It's not like they're in a rush over here or anything. But what we could do is we have these older templates that exist over here that I had hardened before, but we're not really going to be using anymore. Maybe we'll just keep them for old time's sake. We won't get rid of them yet. But what I do want to do is see if I can get my... So I have a hardened version of Rocky Linux, which is this one right here, base Rocky. Or I could harden a new version if we want, but we're just kind of hanging out. Like it's not like we're in a major rush of time or anything like that. So we could build a new one and then just and then store it down after we harden it if we wanted to do that. So I guess I just haven't decided how I want to do that yet. By the way, how's this box's performance doing? Because I imagine it's reading from the disk quite a bit right now. Yeah, CPU's kind of high too as it does its movement. I imagine, yeah, network's a little higher than normal too. All right, fair enough. All right. got all that. Those are all potential things that we could work on. Oh, let me clean up the lab. I said I was going to clean up the lab a little bit, so let's clean up the lab a little bit. Let's make sure, like we normally do from Werewolf, that all the nodes are up. We'll just hit them all, make sure they're up. If they're not all up, we'll go clean those up real quick. I like to try to make sure that you guys have. Plus, if they've been up for too many days, I also like to make sure that they're reset. So let's go check. Rocky 1 is the only one. And those are both. Oh, we do have a streamer in from 20-30 minutes ago. Okay, so somebody's in, hanging out. That's fine. That's fine. I will not reboot the Rocky 1 box then. So the ways that I can do this, let me think if there's a good way to do this. If I don't want to reboot Rocky 1 on Ansible. Typically with Ansible you can limit. So, right, you can limit, but now you're only going to be limiting to the servers that you do want, right? Oh, Chris, you might be right. I've just always used -m shell to explicitly use my shell. You're probably right. I don't know. Maybe M shell is the default. I've always just been explicit about my module, like whatever I'm using. You're probably right. I mean, I may be able to get away without that, but can we? Let's see. So I'm gonna see something here real quick. I've always done limit, but can I? Let me see. In the time I looked this up, I could have already went and just fixed the file real quick. List host version become inventory. Limit is a subset, and that's fine. I don't see an exclude. Yeah, I didn't think there was an exclude, but I thought I'd check for it. All right. Okay. And just for now, just for fun, we're going to change this to 2. And we're just going to run our uptime. I'm just going to skip, I'm going to skip 1 for now. We'll see that it doesn't do 1. Also, this is only doing 5 at a time. That's why you're seeing them come back like that. So we're going to switch that. We're going to change the forks to 20. So it'll hit 20 at once, which will be much better, much faster. Boom. See, they basically all came back out at once. And now I'm just going to reboot. Right? That'll reboot them all. Now, you could also do a reboot command, but it's going to hold your terminal, so I don't need to bother with that. And then down here, I'm going to change this back to 1, just for now. And then I will wait here for, we'll give them about, they take about 5 minutes typically. So we'll give a sleep 300 so we can go do other stuff, and then that'll still come back up. Now over here, we'll see them all reboot. We could watch them reboot if we cared about it, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Also, that node is definitely taking its time sending all that stuff over there. Well, taking more time than I would have thought. All right, so now I got a plan. What are we going to do with this node? Because again, we could just take this node and We could do virtualization on it. We could do, I mean, it is already set up as a host. We could do Kubernetes on it, although we're moving the Kubernetes systems off it. We could just turn those back on for Kubernetes. We could blow the underlying XCP-ng away and not even use XCP as a tool. We could just make it a big Rocky box and then carve it up with our own virtualization inside of it if we wanted to. We don't even have to use a tool like this if we don't want, right? We could just do it right there. So we've got options is my point. We do really whatever we want on this stuff, but either way, we're not working super hard right now. We're just kind of hanging out. And, you know, I think I told you guys in a couple of hours, I've got a college class to run. I never finished telling you guys that. So we'll have like a bunch of students in a class, and they would have just been in an online class, right? But typically, even in an online class, you still have a bunch of instructors grading and doing other stuff like that. But what we do at our college is all those students have one night where they can still come to class. And when they come to class, it's different professors. The different professors are talking about each of the different subjects, whatever they want to talk about. In my case, I'm going to be doing their labs for this week. That's what I kind of got tasked with. But then you say, okay, well, that's cool. But I imagine if you get all these classes together and they're all online, they can't do that many questions there. No, they can't. But what they do get to do with us is all of the professors take an hour or 2 hour block during the week. And that time, any student can come to any of ours. So I have like a Saturday block. If you guys ever hear me talk about like I'm hanging out with my college students on Saturdays, that's when they come in. And Ranger hasn't gotten the new bed yet. It should be here soon. But Ranger has not gotten the new bed. When we get the new bed for Ranger, it's going to look like this. I'm going to put it against this back wall of the room over here, right? I'll put it over here, and I'm going to push his beds back towards it. And then I'm going to move this it's kind of a big, not super big, but big rug, and it'll be over there. So he'll have his like couch looking bed against the wall. He'll have these two beds in front of it, and then he'll have that like thing, because he slides around. His back legs are real weak. He's getting old, right? Ranger's getting old. He's having a hard time standing up, and his back legs kind of slide on the tile a little bit. So that's why he's got the rug, because the rug's real nice for him. He gets good traction. So yeah, anyways, that's Ranger. If you guys don't know, that's the dog. He's our vicious guard dog around here. All right, so I guess we could work back from what do we want to do with the lab. I've got all the capacity that I need right now for you guys to get in there and do systems work. But what I do kind of lack, or what I do want to make better, is the Bastion process is fine for me for now, but I kind of want to get the user process a little better. So I was thinking about how I was going to build up kind of the user side of this. And I thought of a few different ways to do it. Well, I'm not sure what UUtils is. What is that? Let me wait till I get these boxes. When I get these boxes back up, we'll go see what that is. I don't know what UUtils are. I don't even know. I guess we can wait on that. I don't even know what that is, Linux developer. Okay. Oh, guys, you gotta know, I don't know anything about, I mean, I know what I've heard about Rust, but I haven't played anything with, okay, I see what it is. Okay. I was like, Rust, I don't do anything with Rust. Okay, I see what this is. I mean, we can 100% play with that, Linux developer. I don't know if I have the energy or the wherewithal right now to mess with it, but that is pretty funny. I would probably, here's what I would do. If we were going to play with this is what I would do. If you guys haven't been here before, we have all the containers for our cluster are shown right here, right? So what we would do probably is we would spin one of these up, and instead of being the lab, right, instead of being really this one that we were messing around with, which is the current one, we would move one of these over, and we would probably give it the name like Rocky Linux 9 UUtils or something, and then we would install UUtils on it and play around with it. So, and then we would see like what the behavior was. This wouldn't be what this is how simple the lab is designed to be for us to tool that over real quick. Let's take Rocky 19, and let's say Rocky 19 was our test box, and this is how we would do that. We would say wwctl container copy, right? And then we would say Rocky Linux, let's just copy them by name right here, right? And we would call them Rocky Linux 9 UUtils, right? We can call them whatever we want, but I can just do that. Now it's going to copy over all of the stuff from the working image right now over to that one, right? And then what we'll do is we'll go into that little image, that container image, and we'll add the UUtils to it. And then we'll stand it up and do kind of whatever we want. Oh my. Oh, we could run a Minecraft server. Oh, we could easily run a Minecraft server in the home lab. Yeah, we have some pretty beefy boxes for that, but I don't Minecraft server. Oh man, oh, I do get so I have friends that aren't in tech. I have friends that have been around for like ever, and like I've known them since I was in like 7th grade, and everybody's gone off and done different things. Some of them are in tech or tech adjacent fields, but some of them are not. And when I tell them I do Linux, they're like, "Can I set up a Minecraft server in it?" That's like what all of them ask me, and I'm like, "We're 40 something. Like, what's going on here?" The problem would be moderating. Yeah, I don't have the energy to moderate anything like that. Yeah, so let's not. We won't mess with that stuff too much. But yeah, if we wanted to put, on Rocky 9.4, so we're on Rocky 9.4, by the way. So we can do wwctl. There's a few ways to get in here. We can say container exec into our new name of our container, which is this one. And then we're going to say bin bash. And that's going to drop us into that container. And we're going to do a DNF search all for UUtils. And down in this container, by the way, see how it has to go do all its metadata because there's nothing cached? This is going to go and it's going to download all the, it's going to get all the metadata and all this other stuff and see if it can find UUtils. 7 Days to Die. Man, is that the game, Enzo Bear, is that the game where, I didn't know you could run your own server for that. I think I saw, is that the one Baru was playing? I don't know if this is the game. Hold on. I never saw anybody get this far, so I mean, do you get different? Oh yeah, the pipe bomb. I'm pretty sure this is the game. Yeah, this is exactly the game Bob was playing. Yeah, he was playing this one, but he plays it on like a super hard mode with like permadeath. If you go down, you're down forever. And that's... Yeah, anyways, I didn't know you could run your own servers on that. All right. So, we only searched there. Oh, he plays it in like the hardest hardcore mode, and there's like a blood moon on like the 7th day or something, and everything has to align or you just get wiped on the blood moon day. It's kind of crazy. So let's say DNF install. And let's see what it wants to install when we do the UUtils now. So it's already downloaded. Alright, so it doesn't have any base UUtils. It looks like we need to do... probably tell it... I might have to go look it up. Also, is this thing slightly off the screen? That's bugging me. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Right here. There it is. Just right click. Boom. There we go. Let's see what it wants to install. All right. Package repositories EPEL. I love it. Extra packages for enterprise Linux. Do it at your own risk. Let's do it. The worst thing we can do is blow up this container, guys. We're not going to damage any of the other stuff in the environment. All right, so we did that, and that was a good output, right? If I do echo $? Does everybody know what that's going to give me? It's going to give me a 0, right? Which means it was good. We can also say true at the command line and then exit. And now it's going to go build. It's going to go build the container. Then we're going to apply that container to Rocky 19. We're going to rebuild his overlays so everything's good as far as that goes. And we're going to see if he boots. and then you say, well, what would you do as an engineer next? Well, if I really had a purpose to build this out, I would find where that error happens, and I would go troubleshoot that error until I got to my, I got it running, and I got to my next error, and I would work on this until, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out once we get it up, right? We'll see. We'll see what's going on. Linux developer, I'm gonna assume, or I'm gonna hope that it's set over there, but if not, we'll have to go look, right? We'll have to go look at where that's set. All right, so now we have that. So wwctl node list, container list. Now we've got this piping hot, brand new container to use if we want to, right? And then we're gonna say wwctl node list, and we're doing Rocky 19-A, and there's all the Rocky 19 stuff. We'll make it even a little wider so it pops up nice. And now we're gonna change his container name. So we're going to look for edit, right? Control-Shift-R. Whoops. Huh. We'll go look for... Oh my God. Get out of there. Container. Let's see what other container stuff we have. We don't have... so here's set container for a specific node, and we're just going to steal, right? This is the best thing to do is steal your own commands. And we're going to set that to the one that we want, which is utils for Rocky 19. Yes, we want to modify the node. We'll check again. He's now been modified to that. Now, his overlay is still going to have... the overlay is still going to be set for the older thing. So I'm going to do wwctl overlay build for Rocky 19. We don't want to build all of them. It'll take too long. It takes about like 2-3 minutes to do all of them. This is a little slower cluster than the ones I work with at work. And then we say, now we just reset it. So sh Rocky 19. Nothing's happened yet. Right? Kill him. And then we could just, I don't know, ping Rocky 19. And if we wanted to, we can go watch him on the console, because a lot of times the console helps us understand what's happening with a node when a node is booting up and doing something for the first time. So if I was looking for errors, I would be coming in here. I know it's a little bright, but it's going to turn dark here in a second. That will be a console window, and we'll be able to watch the system boot. We'll see if he still knows that he's Rocky 19. We'll see if he's grabbed the right image type. We'll see it right here, because he's about to go over iPixie. And did he grab the utils image? Right? He knows he's Rocky 19. He's got the right image. He's pulling down his kernel image. And I didn't update, listen guys, I didn't update his kernel in any way. And there's a very specific reason I didn't touch his kernel. If you touch the kernel, you got to rebuild the initramfs. If you rebuild the initramfs, you got to go fix the drakcut utility for init. So just please believe this. I didn't do that thing because that's super annoying, and I would have to go figure out my notes again. Because by the way, some of you guys know that some of you guys watched me a few months ago, like beat my head on something that I had fixed like months before that, and it's just because I didn't write it down like I should have. So now I have that written down, and it wouldn't take that long. But it's still, I didn't update this container in any way. I just added software. Does that make sense? we didn't change the base behavior of this container. Well, aside from if it's using the REST utilities now. We'll see, which they're going to have to go look at what's happening inside. But this is normal. Also, it's going to come up with SE Linux turned on, but in permissive mode. So we may see a little bit of a relabel. But then, yeah, then we'll go see what's going on. So it's coming up. This startup that you see right there, all of that is what's called the there's two types of overlays, and this is what's called the system overlay. It comes up only on, like, it's a one-shot runtime overlay, or it's a one-shot startup overlay is what the system overlay is. And then the runtime overlay runs every 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how you have your cluster set, to pull up whatever's going on. So anyways, that's coming. This is all popping up and starting, so we'll see. Corpus found a good link to sign your commits if you want. Nice. Nice, nice. Where is... We'll see. See what happens here. That's what normally happens. We just kind of shoot from the hip and see what we get. All right. Now SE Linux is coming up. It's going to do an auto relabel, so it might take a few seconds. We'll see. There's also some little warnings that I'm not super worried about, but we got Rocky 19 up. So looks up. It looks up, but let's see. Core utils is there. I guess I don't know where core utils goes, but we can try to find it. Let's do, hold on, let's do. I don't see anything in there, so I don't see it there. And then let's go with let's go to bin. We'll just check in bin. Oh, utils. So bin utils is there, as is, well, and also that's going to be linked over. Let me see how. I guess I've never had to try to check that before, so. I can see what's installed. I can see that that's there. Let me see what other utilities are there. Well, we definitely see the version of the kernel. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, ls. Looks like we're still on core utils. Yeah, I'd have to look at, I'm not sure. I've always just let that rest. But if we needed to test this, let's see if we can find changing over core utils. See if there's anything here in anybody's found on the old interwebs here. Oh, Gizmo, we're just messing around on some of the rocky well, one of the rocky boxes right now. So let's see if no man for. So I mean, is it? I mean, I'd be interested to see if I could. I could have sworn it was just in bin. But I don't see bin. Yeah, bin's a link to user bin though, so it should be there. Well, I mean, I have a feeling that that would. I'm just interested in how these exist, but where do these exist? Oh, that was man. Let me shift G. That went all the way to the bottom. I mean, they're all here. They're all here, but I've never tried to change this. Nothing there. Declare should tell us. Let me set my timer back a little bit. Declare should tell us some of this stuff. Oh, hold on, wifey's here. What's up, wifey? Oh, I thought you were already gone. Hold on a second, guys. Give me 1 second here. Hold on 1 second, wifey. Let me go here and let me turn off that and that. 1 second, guys. You taking off?
Yeah, just need to get this away.
Okay.
Okay, love you.
Yep, love you too.
Okay, I'll text you when I'm on my way home and see if you want me.
Okay, that works for me. All right, you guys didn't get to see me kiss the wife, but that was the noise. All right, hey, Robodom's here. How's it going, Robodom? We are messing with the systems. We're breaking stuff apparently, but I just wanted to show you guys, like, this is how easy it is to tool things over in the lab. Because then when we're ready, we could just blow this Rocky 19 system away and put it back on the other one. Blow the container away. In fact, I probably need to do a little bit of container management and clean up in the cluster, anyways, just to get some of the space back. What else were we doing? We were watching it boot, so that's always good. And yeah, so we're not working too hard here, but we are just kind of playing around with some of these things. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to replace Bash for that to work. Is there a version of, like, rust that will. I can't put it here, by the way. I have to go out and put it back in the package. Well, you can put whatever you want here, but the point is I'd have to reboot the box, and then I'd have to go put it in the container anyways. So I just want to see something real quick. Is there a Rust version of Bash that we should be using, and then that'll use the right core utils by default without us having to figure it out and configure it? That's possible. Other than that, I'd have to go look at how. Oh, look at all that Rust stuff. So that was too much. Let's do that same thing and then grep for Bash. Let's see if we can find just Bash. Bashisms. All right. So let's go real quick. What would be setting up? We already tried core, so try utils. You're saying in here? Oh, would they have called it some other type of shell? Like Rust shell? I wouldn't even know what to do in there. New shell? We could absolutely add another shell and then jump in on another shell. If there's a... Let's go look real quick. Rust shell. Rust shell for Rocky 9. Let's see if there's a Rust shell. I don't want any of that crap. I don't want any of that. Nope, don't want any of that. Do Rust C. I don't think that's what I want either. Ah. UULS, no. But I can search, hold on, I can search for... no, I mean... No. But it is interesting that we could get a shell if we wanted, and then we can just jump into that shell if we wanted to play with that. But no, I don't. We'd have to go look at how to get in there. I bet there's probably a README somewhere on what we need to do, and we probably just skipped a bunch because I just tried to dump it in there and see if it would work. But I've never really tried to change my system like that for the core utils, right? Core utils wrappers for utils. Oh, that's interesting. Bin UU underscore. Hold on. I think they're underscore. I think they're underscore. Ah, there we go. There they are. So we can, I mean, yeah, we can do UU. Yeah, so it's UU underneath. Oh. Which one did you do? But the UU underscore, so it's only going to be some things, obviously. But that's actually interesting. So we could do... There's TR, so we can translate. We could do tests, so we can write some scripts. Let's try the simplest thing out there. Let's just touch some file dot test. I don't know, dot text, right? And then we'll echo this is our test into some file, And this, I mean, this should work what I'm about to do, but let's just say SHA-1 sum to some file, and then the UU SHA-1 sum. Obviously, those should be the same, but right, they're just hashing, super simple hashing functions. But you can do number line, you can do move. I mean, most of the stuff that you normally would do. Little trick here for people that don't mess with this much, but you could do now. Now I know that it's there. I can do U dash and hit tab a bunch, and there's all my commands. So those are all my options right there that start with UU inside of a system. So I just hit tab, and those are all the things that I could do. Yeah, I mean, that's... UUENV works just like whatever except the user libexec utils core utils environment. So if we do an LDD, actually that'd be funny if we did a ULDD. Do they have UULDD? No, I see link and ls. They probably don't have everything written over, but watch, let's do LDD on UU-ENV. Oh, we need the full path, so right. So then we need LLD. You always have to do the full path. So here's the libraries that this needs. Is not dynamic executable, huh? Oh, that's interesting. So if that was using other part, like if you guys haven't seen this before, like a normal bash shell, right? That's all the libraries that it needs. Yeah, well, I mean, we know that now. We know that's a difference in behavior there. But between that and these guys, do we have a UU? Let's see what all's there. I'm just looking for. So I don't see a shell that I can jump into, unless you guys see a shell. Nope. Like there's no UU. Nope. There's a bunch of functions and utilities and stuff. Oh, I don't know, Linux developer, if it does. I was just seeing if there was something for me to jump down into, and then we could see what the behaviors of it were while we were like in the shell. But apparently there's not that. No, I mean it probably doesn't. I just wasn't sure what all had been put in there, you know. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. It seems like it works just fine. If you guys wanted to dig, like if you wanted to say like, well, what else are the differences? Well, we couldn't see, you know, obviously on this, there's obviously no, it's not dynamic executable, but that doesn't mean we still can't strace it if we have strace. So I can strace the running of my normal PWD in my system, and there's what PWD looks like as it goes and opens and makes calls and all that kind of stuff, right? Here's everything that should look like a normal PWD. And if it broke somewhere, like if PWD couldn't work because it didn't have user lib locale C UTF-8 or whatever, I had maybe moved all of my C up to like UTF-16, you could see how like, well, very quickly we can go figure out what's going on. Yeah. But hold on. Now we're going to go see what this one, I have no idea what this is going to do right here. But it's going to do something different, right? And it's going to go access all of those things completely different with completely different function calls. Look at all these, whatever these are, sigproc. This went a totally different way to do the UU past WD, right? And if I wanted to just kind of very quickly enumerate them, I could do this. I can say, well, just give me. Could we? That might not come to. It might have put it at the top. It might not. It might not do that for us. Let's try NL. Nope, not gonna do anything because it's probably coming out with. I always think about this. We're making a bed while we're in it. Yeah. We're gonna have to do it outside of it. Yep. And then yeah, do it that way. So here we'll get. Oh. That still didn't do it for us, but I think it's because of the way the output comes to the screen. Hold on. There's a directory 0. Root. Hold on. Yeah, that didn't work for me either. Hold on, let's think about this. We could. I thought about this. I thought about putting in a variable and reading. Yeah, I thought about any of these things, but that's actually the problem. Is what is it? 2 ampersand 1 or something like that. Is that right? Oh, I always got to go look that up. I always forget how to do that. We should be able to do. Wait, maybe get like that. Yeah. It's weird when it goes like that. So then we just do WC-L against temp. What is that? strace. It's treating those outputs as the treating those outputs as error. So we're just messing around. We put the core utils that were written in Rust over here, and we were messing around with them and seeing how they were different than normal systems. So we could do the UU pass WD and then just a regular pass WD this way. Boom, and then we could compare them. Right? They're going to be very different. Right? But we're seeing that, mmap is happening in our regular core utils, and then there's all these RT underscore whatever happening inside of the core util. Yeah, so somebody asked about Rust, so we were messing around with Rust a little bit. Yeah. So we put on, so we have a few things going on in here, but we've got a Rocky cluster. And, we got all these Rocky boxes, and then we changed over Rocky 19 to be on its own, on his own little container here that we called utils, and we just decided we'd break whatever we wanted. So, oh yeah, I guess we could do that too. Let's go back in there. -C on PWD, right? And then do that against the UU PWD. So I like that. Yeah. What's the time that it took, And people are going to be mad that this one's way faster. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's percentage of time. Yeah. So it's always going to be 100. But what's USEX per call? 62, 38, right? And then what's it actually calling? We saw a lot of these, right? And these when we were doing it. But down here, it's a whole different set of calls because it's Rust, right? And Rust is doing Rust things in a Rust way, right? So that's interesting. I mean, that's interesting to see, right? How these different tools that we have available, work. Is there like just a summary for strace? Like S or something? I don't use strace enough anymore. I used to do it a lot more when I was like first starting out, but now I do. You guys will find me do a lot less like hard troubleshooting on things as opposed to just rebuilding them. I mean, I will troubleshoot down if there's a thing that calls for it, but. Oh, let's see, but print regular output while processes are running. Okay. So you can also use a dash capital C. It's like C, but also print regular output while the processes are running. Okay. Dash C is summary only. Dash capital C is summary, but it also prints out as it's doing something. So. What's the dash F do? That's a capital F. Now we're going question mark to go back up the file. We must have missed it. It must have been earlier. Before where we were at. Dash F. Okay, trace child processes are created and currently traced back. Ah, I see. Okay, so it only keeps the aggregate time. Yeah, I've done I've never L traced anything for real either. No, I used to use S trace back a lot when we were trying to find errors with some code that our devs had written and how it was interacting with a Lustre file system. And part of the problem with that was right when Lustre was sold from Sun to Oracle. Well, Sun was Sun was sold to Oracle in the early 2000s. I want to say it was like 2000, maybe 10-ish, 2011-ish, somewhere in there. Whenever Sun went away and Oracle took over, and then they tossed Lustre back. So I was on a government project it was a real big government project, and we're like, we need somebody to be able to support this tool that is like literally everywhere in here, Lustre. And then this company of all the old engineers came up called what's called Wham Cloud for a while there. TTT does all the types. Nice. Oh, you can get absolute timestamps. Nice, nice, nice. All right. Well, we're just messing around anyways. We're not really working super hard today on anything. And what was I going to show you guys? Let's see. How's Ranger doing? How's the security of the lab doing? Looks good. How's the user setup doing? That looks fine. Here's some security stuff. Remember, we got the security stuff set up the other day. So we can kind of see. We do need to install those agents to all the rest of the nodes and build that process into the startup. I guess I could do that now, but I'm kind of feeling lazy. Also, I don't know what everybody's doing over here, but we got jokes and stuff. I set this up. Jeez. I set this up earlier for you guys to be able to collaborate with me, and that's what happened. So, and then logs, we were looking at the guac stuff to see, how often people try to bang on the door for the guacamole server, and it's not too bad right now. Although we could expand this out, and we can go back, for the last 90 days and see if there's a larger amount. It'll take a while to read and all that kind of stuff. Robodom, was that all Fisherman? Is Fisherman here? Can you see him? Can you see him down in the mod channel, Robodom? Like, is Fisherman just hiding? I posted a meme in the Discord earlier that I think Fisherman would like since he's got kids. We'll let that run. We're not really super worried about that. Ranger's guarding downstairs real good. Look at him. That's the laziest guard dog I know. Sometimes he's on this bed when we check on him. Sometimes he's on that bed. Just depends. That is possibly his graffiti, that's for sure. All right. So anyways, we're not really doing too much right now. So look, by the way, guys, if you're like, well, what do you got to do to get the cluster back the exact way it was when you started? It's literally this easy. If I say, hey, we're going to get rid of that, let's just go take this, and we'll go over here, and we're going to set this back. I don't remember all my nodes now. I forget things super easy, so we'll go look at our containers. We're going to set 19 back to the right container, which is lab 03, right? Oh, it's not going to tab out. November 24. We're going to say, yes, we want to do it. We can verify wwctl node list Rocky 19-A, just to verify that he's nice and clean like we want. And there's his server. He's all back. We're going to do a wwctl overlay build, so he doesn't have any problems with his overlay, right? And then we can just, oh, I should have limited that down. Remember I said earlier it takes a while if you do the whole thing? Well, this is what we get. I should have limited that down to just Rocky 19, but now it's going to build all the overlays in the cluster. But that's just some processing time. It's not that big. In between beds, yeah, doing the rounds between beds. Okay, okay. Hopefully you're not, well, I mean, it depends what you're working on, but hopefully you're not doing medical stuff. I say that only because, not that it wouldn't be good to be doing medical stuff. I'm just saying hopefully you're not having to deal with too much terrible stuff. I got a buddy who's getting into respiratory therapy, and he does respiratory stuff, and he was telling us over Christmas, he's like, because he's getting pretty far along. I think he's doing rounds and stuff. He was telling us the other day, like, he was giving somebody CPR and bust all of his ribs, and it's like, I guess that's kind of a common thing. And then, oh, guard dog doing his, yeah, that's Ranger. Yeah, Ranger is, he guards everything he can see. That's the thing about Ranger. Ranger guards all that he can survey, but really he just surveys between his two beds. We got another bed coming, though, and it's like a big couch bed. And the wife was like, he's getting old. So normally she used to limit me and my son to only have 2 beds for him. And anytime we got him a 3rd bed, she would get rid of the oldest one. But she's going to let him keep his beds this time. So he'll have 3 beds. He'll have the big couch-like one that's across against the wall. And then these ones will be pushed up against it. So I'm excited for that to get here. That should be here soon, I hope. All right, let's go SSH2 Rocky 19. And we'll do reboot. Whoops. 3 reboots, and then we'll ping him. And then we'll watch him at the console. For people that haven't been around, we watch at the console. We can see him actually reboot and do his whole iPixie. So he's going to come up. He's not going to know who he is because he's a stateless node with no disk. He's going to ask the network. The only person that's going to respond on the network to a DHCP request is a DHCP server. That's being run by Werewolf. Werewolf is going to be like, yeah, buddy, I got you. You're Rocky 19. He's going to find out right here that he's Rocky 19, and here's the image you need. And now it's not going to be that image. It's going to be back to Rocky 19 as the other image container that we did. He's going to pull down his kernel image and his init RAM-FS. He's going to get those. He's going to kick over and go to... he's going to run on a RAM-FS file system once he loads his kernel up here. And then as soon as he comes up, he's going to run his system overlay, and then we're going to see him start taking pings after that. So this will be like a good... 3rd one might be good for a new puppy. Yeah. Ranger will always be a little puppy to me, right? He's always going to be that dog that ran around in the backyard. He never played or chewed with a single toy that wasn't a yellow tennis ball. Like a tennis ball was the only thing he ever wanted to chase. It was the only thing he ever wanted to put in his mouth. Ranger did not, he has toys. You guys think I'm kidding. You might not be able to see him at the angle of the room here, but his toys that are over here, he's got 4 toys from when he was a puppy. He has never chewed on any of them. He may have put them in his mouth and carried them around a few times when he was younger. I have never seen him chew on a single one of his toys. So he is a very, very chill dog in that respect. Anyways, look, so this coming up, it's running its system overlay, and then when it's done setting up the SE Linux part, we'll get a prompt back, and then we'll be back here, and then we can go check out the system. Yeah, Ranger's always been a very like friendly dog too. Like he almost like would wait to like ask like for permission before he'd like bug people. Like he'd come over to him and they'd be like, and then he'd like go over and sniff them and stuff like that. So Lord Processor said, thank you, sir, for your Wazoo setup video. It's so valuable and helpful. Have you issued a certificate for the sysadmin course graduates? Lord Processor, we do have the certificates in the works. Treasure's in charge of that. So there was a question you asked it a while ago. I saw it, but I didn't read it. That's going to be, that website's getting set up as well. We got a whole GitHub going, guys, and Treasure's kind of running it, and he's doing Saturday meetings. Let me post this for you guys that want to see it. If you go to our Discord, and never mind all the other stuff, you come over here to like here, we have the study group for the admin course, and they're putting together kind of like the whole book for people that want it. Like I told Treasure, one of the things about our Linux sysadmin course that we ran, we ran it late last year into this year, was we only wanted, or we always wanted it to be free for people. So all the stuff that you can go get down in the Discord is going to be, did I say, I keep seeing Discord? It's in the Discord, but we're pushing it up to GitHub, and it's going to be a web page. Like, you can turn GitHub into like a markdown web page. So people are going to be able to go grab the whole book and get all the pieces of it. So what does that mean? Instead of me telling you guys, hey, go here, go to ProLUG projects and do all this stuff, which, by the way, you would still have to do, you would instead of just doing all this stuff here, it'll all be available to you in a book. Yeah, Colchis, what I might end up doing is this. We'll probably take the same process and maybe we'll make a new version of it and then we'll push it back. It's going to have to be the same thing with I'm doing the next course I'm going to do. So we got two things coming up, right? For people that want to take the course, that want to do the 16-week course again, we're going to start it on March 21st. So we're going to start March 21st. That was the day that we gave. That's when we said that we're starting the new one. New Linux system admin course starts on March 21st, 2025, right? So that's going to be when the new course, and we'll have the book up and all that kind of stuff. But I'm doing another one before that. Well, probably going to be running parallel with that because some of you guys already finished it, like Colchis, and some of you guys, you already did the Linux systems admin stuff. So while it might be good to hear some of that stuff again, you're going to get diminishing returns over time because you've done it and you've understood it and you've went off and done the project and all that stuff. What I might be doing, or what I am actually going to do, this is my new course idea, is we're going to be doing like a securing Linux one. And I haven't decided if it's going to be 8 or 12 weeks, but I started to put together like my units for this. And the reason I said 8 or 12 is because I had 8 and then I wanted a 9th one. So actually I wanted a different something. So since I had added one in here, that's why it went out to maybe this one might be 12 weeks. So the security one will be like, it's going to be just like it's called right here. It's going to be securing Linux. Like, we're going to lock systems down and then we're going to validate who is or isn't touching our systems. We're going to do stuff like, where is it? Oh, he's back up. Ready to go do work. Rocky 19, he's up. So, and we call them devs, so you guys know which ones are dev and which ones are troubleshooting. Although I've moved them all back to dev now, in the home lab. So you have these message of the day headers that tell you what type of server you're in if you ever jump into the home lab, which is called to you guys the ProLUG lab, but to me it's the home lab, right? So, oh, and thanks for the follows, guys. I've been missing follows. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. Do I have ngrep? You guys ever seen ngrep? It's a lot like a TCP dump, but a little more fun. So let's go, and we're going to DNF and DNF what provides ngrep. And as with any tool, why are you not responding to the pubnix? I'm not sure what pubnix is, Linux developer. I don't know what that is. Is that in Discord? Oh, geez. I don't even know what it could possibly be in there. Hold on. Verified, sign your link. Good, so people have been putting good stuff as. Oh, why are you not responding to... Public. I don't know. I never. Well, I must have missed something on Twitch. I don't think I never. Hmm. Can we have a ProLUG pub next? Huh. I don't know if I've ever set up that type of access before. I mean, but we could definitely set one of those up if we needed to, I guess. Install ngrep. So we need ngrep on this box. It's coming from EPEL, so extra packages for Enterprise Linux. And then we would install it. Yep. By the way, I don't normally use a -y in my DNF install, even in the home lab. And the reason for that, by the way, we can go man ngrep if we want to. And we can get a whole bunch of information about the system. And we can even output to a pcap dump file like we could with TCP dump. We can also read in pcap files that have already been done from previous TCP dumps. So if we need to search through for something that's happening during some time, we can read back through with pcap. So I'm actually gonna turn this into a lab. We have a lab. So we have a bunch of labs up on Killer Coda. I don't talk about them as much as I probably should, but we got a bunch of labs up on Killer Coda, and on one of them, I make you guys do. I think I make you guys do a very simple like TCP dump. Yeah, very simple TCP dump, and then I make you dump it out to a file, right? Little hostname.pcap. But I'm going to change this, and I'm going to, well, not change it. This one will stay the same, but I'm going to add to this one, or I'm going to add for more networking, and it's going to be watching things attempting to connect and watching those things that are happening to your system. And I'll build it out here on Killer Coda so anybody can access it like we normally do. But then over here, it'll be part of the lab that we do for this and the book and all that for that. So, yeah, I need to see. Let me go look this up. Yeah, I'd have to go look into that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know anything about PubNix. I've never even heard that before. I mean, it would probably work just fine with my Bastion, so I would do that. So, oh, by the way, exit utility or exit codes, exit status, very important. So that's good to know. And then I should just be able to really, if I just run this, just shows me what's going on in my system while we're sitting here talking, right? It's showing me. In this case, it's actually, you're always going to have this spin up like this when you watch it, no matter what else. And the reason is because while you're watching it, while you are watching an ngrep and it gathers any one piece of traffic, it's got to send that traffic to your system, right? And that's going to generate traffic to send that traffic. So now you're going to get what we call a lot of white noise when you do what I just did there, because it's got to send every piece of traffic to the screen, even the traffic about the traffic, generating more traffic that came from the screen to send more traffic about the traffic, right? It's that idea that that's traffic all the way down, I guess, if you want to think of it like that. What else do we got here? Yeah, so the point is you can come in here and you can start looking at this, and you can look at it very simply, like 192.168.200.69 is Rocky 19, because I started the numbers at 51. And then it's talking back to 192.168.200.25. Well, that's no surprise. That's the box that I jumped into it from, right? Right? From Werewolf here, I jumped into, like, host, right? let's just ping. Well, we'll just go over there. Right? And from there, so 69 is talking to 25, and I can see that right here in this discussion. And then whatever else is happening, we can go start to break down. It's very hard to see this stuff here, so typically we're going to want to pull these things out. I like to pull things off and like to look at them through like Wireshark. I'll use Wireshark right on the command line. But the point is, if I expected certain traffic to be happening during a window, I would be able to do that. Oh, it says that I'm being called by the Phoenix Suns. Anybody here know who the Phoenix Suns are? Give me 1 second here. Let's answer this. This is Scott. Oh, they didn't want to talk to me very much. They wanted to put me in a little waiting room though, where they did a little beep to let me know when it was my turn. I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't know if you guys have noticed that trend the last like 5 years where you sit in a waiting room until the little beep and then they drop you on a call and it's like, I didn't get called by you to wait for 5 seconds for your call to start. Like that's enough of that. So I don't know. Maybe I'm. Yeah, they drop rope drop. You're being dropped in a queue, and then they're picking up the queue when they're ready. And it's like, you just called me. You better be like talking in my ear as I answer. You know, like it better be almost rude to come in while I'm while we're still talking. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll look into that little Pubnix thing. I've never done anything with that, so I'm looking at that on another screen here. All right, I'll leave that over here out of the way. Get out of the way there. All right, so what I do need to plan is this. As we work on the book and get that book kind of finalized into the the 16-week course, I'm gonna leave a certain amount of this capacity for people to still come in as that user. Now that user will probably have to change because I think right now I have you guys come in as streamer 1, and maybe we'll change that to like. Actually, let's see what we have him coming in as. So, who's on here? Yeah, I think it's streamer 1. Streamer 1. Yeah, so we can see streamer 1 connected in and then has jumped over with like the only things that we've given him in his jail to go over to some server. And we can see in this case that he's over in Rocky 1. So I'm going to have to come up with a better naming scheme for my in the lab environment for how people come in. Oh yeah, it's a good thing I have that little reminder because I do have to run a college class in an hour. So I'll probably get off here soon. I'm not going to stick on too long, but you guys kind of have seen some of the planning we've been doing here in the lab, and then some of the stuff that I'm going to be planning on doing in the future. And what we could do with this extra system capacity, because now we have this whole extra server with all this extra capacity down here, we could do the same type of idea as what we've done here. And this server here, by the way, oh, people are still in there. That's funny. We may have the ability. Let me go check here. I haven't checked on this before. How much capacity do we have here? So I could probably run in this environment. So they're all 4 gig nodes. I got 25 more gigs available. So realistically, we could probably get away with 8 more nodes here. So I could go up to like Rocky. I guess if I wanted to, 27 here. We could have a whole bunch of those Rocky 27 systems. We'll probably raid some more Linux developer. Why? Do you know anybody? You know anybody that we should be raiding out to? So guys, yeah, we could just add nodes, right? Like that's another fun thing about this is it's pretty quick to add nodes. So if we want to do a day where I add more to the werewolf cluster, we'll give it more cluster, more nodes to use, and I'll definitely do that before we jump over to the new course. And here's what I was thinking was, so just like we have Rocky here, we'll build another werewolf cluster down here, right? In this kind of dead node that's not doing anything. He's empty. Build werewolf down here, and this will be our. I told you guys about hammer block. You guys heard the term hammer block? So I was talking to one of the guys that he's come and talked to you guys a few times. Robbie Reed. He and I was asking him the other day. I said, "Hey, where's the origin of the term hammer block?" Because we used to do this competition at Lockheed Martin, where we would all get in an environment and it was just a free for all. It was like one of those tanks games where you just play free for all, but with servers. And we all had nodes that we could jump in on, and then we would jump into all these other parts of the environment. And there was actually and anything in the range was fair game. You could take over other people's servers, but then you had to document it. You could take over anything in the environment that was there, and then you had to document it. But we had to you had to map the environment. That was part of it. You got points for reconnoitering, right? Reconnoiter, and then you got points for after you had enumerated. You got points for kind of documenting what all the things were doing, and then you got points for it's basically, if any of you guys have ever looked into this, it's going to be bright for a second. The attack.miter.org. You basically got points across these things: reconnaissance, and I think we had kind of grouped them up into like 5 areas until we took over different nodes. I love Clonk. Well, sometimes he goes by L:"Q, and sometimes he goes by L Clonk. But I don't know which one's the right one because I've heard him say both. But I can't ever tell if he's being serious. I was hanging out earlier. It's actually his streamer day, and he was also on the front page. So, I don't mind. I don't mind hitting up a big raid. I mean, that's cool. But what I was going to do, or what we would do, is if we did this right here, this would be our. Let's pull this up here real quick. Do this, and then I need a different color. I need somebody to help me out because I'm pretty colorblind. What is that? That's red. We'll do this. We'll do blue. Blue, I think that's blue too, but we'll do blue up here again. And then we would call this our hammer block range, right? And hammer block range would go like this then. I would have some servers in here that I would control, kind of like the GM, if you want to think of it like in a gaming scenario. And those boxes, I would I would take those boxes, and they would be like shared resources, things to abuse. We would know that we had some web servers, and we would know that we had some MariaDB servers. And the first run of it, as we set up the course, could be, and the course will be. So, well, here's the thing though, for you guys, the first run of the securing Linux course will have to be securing your own boxes, right? Because this course is going to be about securing your own Linux, right? This is going to be secure your stuff. But then, if we want to do the other stuff, which I've participated in plenty, I just, don't do it as much anymore, is the infiltration and all the other types of things that people think they want to do in an environment. I don't, I think everybody wants to do that stuff, and I think even when I was a younger engineer, I wanted to do that more. And we did that a lot at Lockheed. That was actually, we had games of Lockheed Martin that my team would go do that. And there was like 400 engineering teams at Lockheed that would participate in hammer block. But I've never figured out what they, like, we think that it was the piece of hardware that we were testing, because we were testing a specific piece of hardware that they had. So that's actually funny, though, to make the humans laugh. That's funny. Have you guys seen this, by the way? And I don't know if, I'm curious if anybody else that's still connected has this AI thing right here. Can you do a text to diagram like I can, and then say, you go, I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but this is really cool. And I say that I want build out a range of IP addresses for servers between 192.168. Maybe 300. We're gonna go 220. We're gonna go 50 1 through, I don't know, let's go like 99. The servers are named hammer block, right? 1 through, or we'll say 1 through 40. Yeah, I think that'll work. 1 through 49. And they have different web services on them. I don't know if this will work. Sometimes this comes out really, really crappy, and sometimes this is really good, but it'll try to draw what you describe to it. This is actually kind of a cool little tool if you haven't seen. You can do it 10 times per day if you're ever playing up an Excalidraw. And it's going and it's chewing that up, and it's trying to figure out what I'm asking it, and then it's going to try to do a draw. Yeah, it looks like somebody else got a drawing. So, oh, mine is, whoa. Let me insert mine. It gave me names. I don't know if I love those names, but where did it start here? Hammer Block 2 got 50. Oh, maybe those numbers are in order. Let's see. Where's Hammer Block 1? Hammer Block 1 got 51, 6 got 50. Yeah, okay, so it did count them up the way that I would have wanted to. By the way, that's the way Werewolf would have assigned them too. 26 is 76. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly how I would have done that. So that's exactly how tools in Werewolf would have done that too. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to leave that. I'll leave it up there in case anybody wants it, because you guys can go still grab that out of the system if you need it. But yeah, look, and then here's this other one that's being worked on over there. Anybody else need that access? Any of you guys need that? Oh, by the way, here you can. I'm going to save this again. Just save the current file. I'll go modify whatever I want, but we can reshare that if anybody wants to come in and hang out in the little cluster. You guys could be in there. Now you'll have to pull that down and change it on the Twitch side because they have a comma in it and they don't accept that. But hopefully, I mean, if I can't show you how to do it, I can't help you. I got nothing to help you with. But yeah, that next one we'll do. I'll talk to the guys because I know that currently Treasure is setting up the book and he's setting up the site so you guys can get your certs, and we'll do maybe something of one for the security stuff as well. So if people do the securing Linux one, yeah, and if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna have to make it a bigger course because I want it to have some substance to it. I want to have like, look to the side. That's how your home lab works. Nice. Internet reverse proxy, VPN tunnel, home lab network. Yeah. I run a, so my way of doing it, my home lab functions as its own DDNS. So it does dynamic DNS if it ever changes, but it only changes like once every 6 months or once every year, depending. And what'll happen then is I can connect in, and then my DMZ is a hardened Linux server that I use, right? That's the main jump box that people can jump in on, and then people can go do whatever they need to. So anyways, Veer said, "Hi Scott, sorry to drag you away from your flow state. Feel free to ignore this if you want. Your book, is that beginner friendly or are there prereqs for that? Also, who's the target audience for the book? Sysadmin, cloud engineer, thanks and love you." Okay, so the book is, let me show you guys what the book is for people that ask, because it does say there's a little thing trailing about the book. We wrote a book through the Professional Linux Users Group wrote a book. Well, I wrote a book. And what we did, or what I did in the book, was this. We have a bunch of Ansible labs, and we have a bunch of Linux labs. We've got 27 Linux labs and 21 Ansible labs, so almost 50 labs here. And what the book is if you're going through the labs ask you a bunch of questions, right? And as you go through, they make you reflect on things and think about stuff. The book only adds kind of like, it's like a notepad kind of almost for you to go spend. Like if you were going to do this lab right here, right? You could just blow through this lab, hit the buttons, it'll do all the stuff, and then you'll be like, all right, I learned some Linux, good, right? And you'd go through everything. But then the book is designed to go along with this and then give you like more stuff to go study and more stuff to read about. I would say the most, and this is because I was asked over on the YouTube side, I would say the most important, like the people that want to spend time in that book, which is on LeanPub, is only going to be people who kind of want to get into like sysadmin. So people that want to understand what's going on here better, I think, and then people that want to understand how Ansible's valuable to them as well. I think those are the main core audiences for it. So maybe you've done Linux systems administration for a long time, but you've never jumped into Ansible. And maybe you've even played with our labs and you're like, okay, those are cool. But then the book just adds, I think of it as like color commentary. It adds to all the things that this is showing you and makes you go study a bunch of other things. But it's like basically one page per lab, and it's just, I would use it like a notepad, and I would just come over here and have this open, and I would just answer myself questions as I went. So that was the answer. There was a question Veer asked over on the YouTube side about what the book's for. Now, hold on. There's a different book I was just talking about. Let me make sure that we're not talking about this. There's a free book for the Linux sysadmin course. That is a completely free book for anybody that wants to. And that is still getting put together by the guys. Yeah, Veer, that would be a good way to put it. It's and some people don't, like, they look at this and they go, I'm not going to do it. But if they have something in their hands where they're like, okay, I can actually write these notes down, they'll go and do each piece of it. So some people pick up stuff different ways. The Linux Systems Administration book that the guys are putting together, that I'll be able to give you a link here soon, like I'll have it linked in there. It is all of these free things that we did as a group for the last few months. This is all free, right? Everything in here, you can go grab it out of the Discord. The guys are putting all this into Markdown. So they're taking all these PDFs and they're copying them out and they're doing all the Markdown. There's going to be probably a good amount of work, but I think with like 10 people, it's not the 10 people or so that I saw sign up, it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think, for them. I think they're going to do it pretty quick. But the discussions and all that kind of stuff, and then that will be something that you could go do on your own, although I'm really going to highly recommend for people that want to get good at this stuff. And maybe for some of you guys, maybe you've been spinning your wheels and you're like, I do Linux, but I don't do it professionally. Well, then when we do this group in March, that's when I would tell people, we're going to run it out of here again. We'll have the book so people can go reference the book, but then I'll just start dropping the discussions here, and you will find very quickly people think differently than you. Some of you guys probably know that, but some of you don't. People think very differently than you, and the way that you spin up to talk about, we start talking about security, and you run off this direction, somebody else runs off that direction. You go, oh, no, they're actually pretty right. That is really important. Maybe not more important than what I think, but maybe I put them on the same level of importance. So now you don't just have the way that you think, you have kind of a view into how all the other people do it. And by the way, that's a huge part of college, is looking at how other engineers. Oh, how free is it? Well, it'll still be, it'll be like Creative Commons or whatever he puts it on. Yeah. It's free like beer, not like, no, I'm just kidding. Free to do what you want with. So, yeah, I don't care what people do with this stuff. But just, don't go make like a ProLUG server and then be like, we're better than ProLUG by one letter or something. I don't know. Don't do something like that. That's pretty far away for sure. Doing just like dev stuff. I support devs most of the time. I support people that want to build proof of concept systems, those kind of things. That's what I do a lot of my time. Although that's kind of my older gig now. The last few years I've been back on high performance compute, so I've been building the big systems that get architected in all these other ways. So ProLUG NG, that is kind of funny. On the fork when well, look, if ProLUG ever gets bought by Oracle, and ProLUG server, and we're focused on the ProLUG. So I saw the other day that PROLOG is this whole other thing, and that's actually kind of funny. Yeah, I don't want anybody ever to stumble in and be like, hey, is this the ProLUG? I'll be like, no, it's ProLUG. We do Linux around here. And they're like, okay. And then they like walk out. It's kind of funny. Yeah. But that's, so I can actually pull up an example of the book. Hold on. Typically when I open the book, it's, I think I have it in here somewhere in downloads. Let's see the last time I had pulled it down. I don't even know when I last pulled it down. Got agendas and stuff. I don't have. Maybe I deleted them all. Oh, here it is. This is a preview of it. So we'll open it with a tool that I actually kind of like called Sumatra. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used Sumatra, but Sumatra is a really easy tool to flip and invert. So this is it's shown in white typically with black lettering, but I invert it. So if you ever need to do that, there's a setting down here, and when you do advanced options, it'll open up in a notepad, and all you got to do is flip these two right here. So if you ever need to go into dark mode, but this is what the book looks like right here. So for people that are asking about the book, is like, let's say you wanted to learn the Ansible stuff, and here's the Ansible labs. Here's all the Ansible labs and a little checklist that you could have for yourself. And then here's the first one, and it says what tool installed Ansible, and then it gives you a little bit more digging deeper and go read about Ansible. And I think then there's questions around that, which is like, how did we install Ansible, and what other methods might we do to put Ansible in the system? There's actually a pip installer for Ansible, right? You could use Python 3 to pip install Ansible. I don't even know what the implications of that are for a system. I've always just put it from the EPEL, but there's all kinds of stuff. You can run Ansible in containers and have the containers only exist while it's being executed. There's other ways to do it. So it just makes you think about different stuff than you might have done with the other way of doing it. So that's the that's what the book is. And I have you go read the documentation around variables. So you want to go learn the variables a little better than maybe you dug into with the lab. But you got the lab for the hands-on, but this is more like the studying stuff. And then also in the Linux stuff, if you haven't seen the Linux stuff, this is much more built up. I think I spent more time in the Linux side of things because that's where I know more. But it's like a task condition standard, do the lab, and then answer all these questions like what the heck's going on, and then read a little more over here about what's going on with the system daemon inside of the Rocky Linux, and it tells you how sysv used to just open things and just I mean, for lack of a better term, it used to just yeet them over the wall, right? That's like you could say launch, like firing a cannon off. It doesn't know if the cannonball ever lands, nor does it care. But systemd, there's a lot more control. So that's what they're showing here. Like they show how the different utilities start and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I think I tell people all the time, don't get the book until you've spent some time working with this stuff, and see if there's anything that, you know, if you want to go spend more time and get more involved with some of this stuff, do that. So, okay. Guys, I do have to get off of here because I want to chill a little bit before my college class in an hour or so, but I probably won't be back on tonight, but I will probably get a little bit of a plan together for what we're going to do with this, and we'll start building this stuff out. Oh, wait, did we get a raid? No, I didn't get a raid. Oh, we'll raid Q. Yeah. It's his thing, so we'll raid over to him. So let's go find him. He's one of my follows. And our raid message will be do all the Linux, right? That's our normal little raid message. Some of you guys have seen it before. But we'll go raid over to him. And I appreciate you guys coming by. For you people that haven't been here before, you're always welcome to kind of hang out down on our Discord. You don't have to buy the book to kick it. That's more just us doing stuff, you know, talking shop and you know, for people that are more invested in getting into the space. That's what that's for. But all right, we're going to raid over there. Feel free to come back next time you see me. All right, take care.